This audio was developed using advanced NLP techniques, neuro-linguistic programming, one of the most powerful methodologies that exists for transforming the human mind from the inside out. NLP studies the relationship between language patterns, neurological processes, and human behavior. In simple terms, it maps how your mind processes reality, and more importantly, how to reprogram that processing so it works in your favor. Because the truth is that most people are operating under programming they never chose. Beliefs about money absorbed in childhood, phrases repeated by people who themselves never prospered, mental patterns inherited from generations that lived in scarcity and passed that scarcity on as if it were a natural law. It is not. And from today onward, that programming changes. The subconscious is the deepest and most powerful layer of your mind. It processes about 11 million bits of information per second, while the conscious mind processes only 40. It does not sleep, it does not rest, it operates continuously, running the programs that had been installed throughout your life. And that is precisely why changing things only through conscious willpower rarely works for long. Willpower is conscious, but the blocks to prosperity are subconscious. To truly change, you need to go where the problem actually is, and this audio goes exactly there. Every word you are about to hear has been precisely chosen to bypass the filters of the rational mind and reach the core of your being. Every pause has a purpose. Every affirmation has been constructed to plant a new seed where a limiting belief once existed. The first effects begin to be noticed after 21 days of regular listening. For deeper reprogramming of ingrained beliefs about money and worthiness, the observed average is 30 to 60 days of consistent practice. The more you listen, the deeper and more permanent the transformation becomes. Do not listen to this audio while driving, operating machinery, or in any situation requiring constant alertness. At any moment that demands full attention, you will immediately awaken with clarity and total control.
Now, if you are in a safe and calm place, let's begin. Gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath through your nose. Inhale slowly, counting to 4. Hold the air for a moment, and slowly exhale through your mouth, counting to 6. Feel every muscle in your body begin to relax. The shoulders drop, the jaw loosens, the hands open, the forehead softens. You don't need to do anything right now, except breathe and listen. Your only task in this moment is to receive. Take another breath. Inhale deeply. Let your chest and abdomen fully expand. Hold for a moment and release everything, letting go of any remaining tension. Feel a wave of calm and openness flowing through your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Each time you exhale, you go deeper. Each time you inhale, you open more to wealth, prosperity, and abundance, which are your natural state.
You are here because something inside you already knows you deserve more. That prosperity is not a privilege for others, it is your right. That wealth is not luck, it is the result of a mind aligned with abundance. And your mind, from this moment on, is being aligned. Every word that enters goes deep. Every affirmation you hear settles exactly where a limiting belief once lived. And the universe, which always responds to what you radiate, begins to reorganize the circumstances around you to confirm the new truth you are building within yourself. I am a person who attracts wealth and prosperity. Wealth and abundance are my natural state. I open my mind completely to receive everything the universe has for me. I deserve to thrive in all areas of my life. Every day I become richer, more prosperous, and more abundant. The best possibilities among infinite possibilities come to my door every day. I reprogram my mind every day for wealth and prosperity. Everything is in motion and constant evolution, and I only evolve toward what is good.
There is an illusion that modern society repeats so constantly that most people never stop to question it. The illusion that wealth is synonymous with bank balance, that to prosper means having a large account, an expensive car, and an impressive house, that success is measured in numbers. This view is not only incomplete, it is dangerous, because it leads people to accumulate money while destroying their health, to work 70 hours a week while watching their children grow up without them, to build assets while losing peace of mind. And in the end, sitting on everything they have built, they wonder why they still feel empty. The answer is simple. They confused part of wealth with the whole of wealth. True wealth is total. It has multiple pillars, and each one is essential. The first is financial wealth, assets, investments, income, the freedom to choose without money being the limiting factor in every decision. This pillar is real and important, and there is no wisdom in romanticizing poverty. Money is a powerful resource that amplifies who you already are. If you are generous, it allows you to be more generous. If you are creative, it gives you more tools to create. Money does not corrupt, it reveals. And when your mind is aligned with prosperity, it comes as a natural consequence of who you have become. The second pillar is time wealth, the freedom to choose how you spend your days, to wake up without an urgent alarm dictating the rhythm of your morning, to be present in meaningful moments without your mind always being elsewhere. Time is the only truly non-renewable resource, and the person who learns to manage it wisely possesses a form of wealth that no salary can directly buy.
The third pillar is health. A strong body, a clear mind, and vibrant energy that allow you to enjoy everything you have achieved. What is the point of having all the resources in the world if the body has no energy to live them? Health is not merely the absence of disease, it is vitality, presence, the ability to wake up every day with genuine energy to build, create, and live intensely. The fourth pillar is relational wealth, the quality of the connections you have with the people around you, the family that supports you, the friends who truly know you, the network of people who vibrate at the same frequency as you and make every achievement more meaningful because it is shared. No material wealth can replace the experience of being deeply known and loved for who you truly are. And the fifth pillar is intellectual and spiritual wealth. Continuous access to knowledge that expands your worldview. The peace of mind that does not depend on external circumstances. The connection to something greater than yourself, whether spirituality, purpose, or the sense that your existence contributes to something beyond your name and your assets. This inner wealth is the one no one can take from you. It remains when everything else fluctuates. The truly prosperous person is not the one who has the most money. It is the one who has balance among all these pillars, who takes care of the body while building wealth, who nurtures relationships while expanding knowledge, who maintains inner peace while acting with focus and determination in the external world. This is the model of wealth your subconscious is absorbing now. Not a partial, fragmented, or unbalanced wealth, a total, integrated, and genuinely transformative wealth. I am a rich and prosperous person in all areas of my life. I have abundant health and a strong, energetic body. I have time and freedom to live the way I choose. I have deep, genuine, and nourishing relationships. I have peace of mind and mental clarity every day. I enjoy the best things in life with gratitude and awareness. I enjoy helping others, and this generosity multiplies everything I have. I am focused on my goals, and each day I move closer to them. Total wealth is my natural state, and I live it fully in all dimensions of my existence. In every culture throughout human history, on every continent, in every era, there is a figure that repeatedly appears in mythologies, religions, stories, and oral traditions, a figure that represents broadest and deepest form. The Greeks called it Pluto, the god of wealth who dwelled in the depths of the earth where all minerals and treasures are formed. The Romans had Fortuna, the goddess of prosperity, who turned her wheel and distributed abundance to those aligned with her. Hindus revere Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, beauty, and prosperity, always depicted seated on a lotus flower, surrounded by gold flowing from her open hands into the world. Different cultures, different languages, different eras, yet the same essential truth is repeated in all of them. Abundance is a living force. It exists, it flows, and it moves toward those who are open to receiving it. The archetype of wealth is not merely an external symbol. It represents something that exists within every human being, an innate capacity to create, attract, and multiply. An inner intelligence that, when activated, sees opportunities where others see obstacles, finds resources where others see scarcity, and transforms ideas into reality with a naturalness that seems almost magical to outside observers. But it is not magic, it is alignment. It is the result of a mind that has removed internal blocks and begun to vibrate at the frequency of what it seeks to manifest. There is an ancient story, passed from master to disciple through generations, about a man named Auros who lived in a prosperous city but always felt outside of that prosperity. He worked every day, he was honest, he was dedicated, yet money never stayed. Opportunities always seemed to pass him by, and the constant feeling that abundance was for others never left him. One day, exhausted and confused, Auros left the city and walked into an ancient forest on its outskirts. He sat by a river and fell into silence for the first time in years.
And there, in that silence, something happened. He began to observe the river. He noticed that water does not choose where to go based on fear. It simply flows, following its natural path with complete trust. He noticed that the trees around him did not beg for sunlight. They simply grew toward it with a quiet certainty that the light was there and meant for them. He noticed that the soil did not resist seeds. It received them, held them, and transformed them into life. Everything in nature received abundance with total openness. Nothing blocked it, nothing resisted it, nothing doubted it. And then Auros realized something that changed everything within him. The problem was never a lack of opportunities.
The problem was that he had never felt worthy of receiving them. Deep in his subconscious, an old and silent voice repeated that prosperity was for others, that he was not the kind of person who deserved wealth, that somehow it would be wrong or dangerous to have too much. That voice was not truth, it was programming, and programming can be replaced. Auros closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and did something he had never done before. He simply said out loud to the river, to the trees, to the entire universe, "I deserve it. I am open. I receive." 3 simple words, but spoken with a conviction that came from a place deeper than any conscious thought. And something within him reorganized itself, not dramatically, not with thunder and lightning, but with the silent softness of a window opening after a long time closed, letting in fresh air, new light, and the clear sense that the world outside had been waiting for him all along.
In the months that followed, Auros's life did not change because external circumstances changed first. The circumstances changed because he changed first. The same opportunities that had always existed around him began to appear with a clarity he had never experienced before. The same people who had always been in his life began to open doors he had never noticed. Abundance had not arrived from outside, it had been unlocked from within. I deserve wealth and prosperity in all dimensions of my life. I am completely open to receiving the abundance the universe has for me. I remove all internal blocks that prevented the flow of prosperity. Abundance flows to me naturally and effortlessly. The best possibilities among infinite possibilities come to my door every day, and I recognize and embrace them. I vibrate at the frequency of wealth and attract everything aligned with that frequency. The information and opportunities that arise in my mind through the universe are infinite. I am a rich, prosperous, and abundant person, and this is my natural state, now and forever.
There is a fundamental difference between the people who prosper consistently and sustainably and those who live in endless cycles of effort without real progress. This difference is rarely in talent. It is rarely in luck or in the circumstances of birth. It lies in vision, in the ability to see beyond the present moment, beyond immediate obstacles, beyond temporary discomfort, and to keep the gaze fixed on what truly matters, on the destination that has been chosen, on the life that is being built brick by brick, decision by decision, day by day. And no living being embodies this quality more perfectly and more beautifully than the eagle. The eagle has vision that is between 4 and 8 times more powerful than human vision. It can see a small prey from more than 3 kilometers away. It flies higher than any other bird, not to distance itself from the world, but to gain a perspective that other birds simply cannot reach. From up there, it sees what others do not see. It perceives patterns forming below, movements still unfolding at a distance, opportunities that have not yet arrived but are already on their way. And when it identifies what it wants, it does not hesitate. It closes its wings, dives with absolute precision, and captures exactly what it had decided to capture. No doubt, no deviation, no looking aside. There is a story passed down through generations about a woman named Valeria, who grew up in a simple family without great resources or strong examples of prosperity around her. From childhood, she observed the world with a different kind of curiosity, always asking how things worked, always imagining possibilities beyond what she could see. But for many years, that vision remained inside her, suppressed by the voices around her that repeated that dreaming big was for the privileged, that realism was the only true wisdom, that she should be grateful for what she little had and not want more.
One day, in an open field near her home, Valeria saw an eagle flying across the sky. She stood still, watching for a long time. The eagle did not rush. It showed no anxiety. It hovered with absolute calm in the warm air currents, rising higher and higher, seeing farther and farther. And then, at a precise moment only it knew, it dove, fast, direct, without hesitation, and captured what it had targeted. Valeria had that image etched into her memory for days, and she began to ask herself, what would I be seeing if I flew higher? What opportunities exist around my life that I simply cannot see because I am too close to the ground, too immersed in daily problems, too busy surviving to stop and gain perspective? That question changed everything. Valeria began waking up earlier, not to work more, but to think, to plan, to rise mentally above her routine and see the horizon with clarity. She began making decisions with more courage because she realized that indecision was not prudence, it was fear disguised as caution. She began to focus with an intensity that people around her had never seen before. It was not fast. The eagle does not learn to fly in a day. But each week that passed, Valeria's vision became clearer. Each month, her decisions became more precise. Each year, her life moved closer to the image she had begun to see from above. Not because the world had changed, but because she had developed the vision, focus, and courage of the eagle, and with them, everything that once seemed impossible became inevitable.
Prosperity does not come to those who work more. It comes to those who see further, decide with greater clarity, and act with more courage. It comes to those who have developed the vision of the eagle, capable of hovering above the confusion of daily life and precisely identifying where opportunities are, which ones deserve attention, and how to capture them at the exact right moment. This vision is not a gift that some have and others do not. It is a skill that can be developed. And your subconscious is absorbing this skill now, as you listen, as you breathe, as each word settles deeper into the core of your mind. I have the vision of the eagle. I see far, with clarity and precision. I am a focused person, and nothing diverts my attention from what truly matters. I make decisions with courage, clarity, and confidence. I see opportunities where others see obstacles. I maintain total focus on building my prosperity. I rise above daily problems and see solutions others cannot see. I act at the right moment with precision and determination. Each day, my vision becomes clearer, my decisions wiser, and my prosperity more evident in all areas of my life.
Take an ear of corn in your hand, just a single ear. Inside it are, on average, 800 kernels arranged in 16 perfect rows. Each of those 800 kernels, when planted in fertile soil, watered consistently, and exposed to the right amount of sunlight, produces a new plant. And each new plant yields between 2 and 4 ears of corn. That means a single kernel in just one growing season can multiply into more than 3,000 kernels, from 1 to 3,000, without extraordinary effort, without miracles, without luck. Simply through the combination of a healthy seed, receptive soil, and the time nature needs to do what it has always done: multiply. This is one of the oldest and most reliable laws in existence, and it doesn't apply only to agriculture. It applies to everything, especially to the human mind. Every thought you plant in your subconscious is a seed. Every belief you nourish through repetition becomes a root, that grows deeper over time. Every affirmation you hear and absorb is fertilizer, enriching the mental soil where your prosperity will grow. And just as a farmer does not plant today and harvest tomorrow, the transformation of the mind does not happen overnight. It unfolds in layers, in cycles, with the patience and confidence of someone who knows the seed is germinating even when nothing can yet be seen above the ground. Real growth always begins invisibly. It always starts beneath the surface, in the darkness where no eye can see, but where everything that will exist in the future is being prepared with extraordinary precision.
There is a story about a farmer named Maya who inherited a piece of dry, barren land from her grandfather in the countryside. The soil was cracked and lifeless, and all her neighbors insisted that nothing could ever grow there. They told her to sell the land and use the money for something else. But Maya had spent her childhood beside her grandfather, listening to him repeat one sentence she never forgot. The land never lies. It gives back exactly what you put into it. No more, no less, and nothing different. Maya chose to trust her grandfather. She began preparing the soil with patience, adding nutrients, breaking apart the hardened ground, and watering it consistently. During the first month, nothing happened. During the second month, nothing happened. The neighbors walked by, shaking their heads. But Maya kept going, because she had understood something essential. The absence of visible results is not the absence of progress. It is progress happening where the eyes cannot reach. In the third month, the first tiny sprouts appeared. Small, delicate, almost imperceptible. But they were there, and Maya smiled with the quiet confidence of someone who had never doubted. Because she knew that wherever there is a sprout, there is a root. And wherever there are deep roots, the harvest is inevitable. By the end of the season, the land everyone had dismissed produced a harvest that amazed the entire region, not because a miracle had occurred, but because Maya had honored the process. She had planted with intention, nurtured with consistency, and harvested with gratitude.
Then Maya did something few farmers did. Instead of storing her entire harvest, she set aside some of the finest kernels, the fullest, healthiest, and strongest ones, and planted them again. Not because she immediately needed more, but because she was thinking about the future. She had learned from her grandfather that the secret to lasting prosperity is not consuming everything you harvest. It is always saving seeds for the next season. It is always reinvesting part of what you receive so the cycle of multiplication never stops. Your mind works exactly the same way. Every positive thought you cultivate is a seed. Every prosperous habit you maintain is a root growing deeper. Every affirmation you hear and repeat is another kernel planted in fertile soil. And your subconscious, like Maya's land, never lies. It gives back exactly what you place within it, amplified, multiplied, and returned as circumstances, opportunities, and results that appear in your outer life as a perfect reflection of what has been cultivated within. You are planting right now, and your harvest is already on its way. I plant thoughts of prosperity and harvest abundance in every area of my life. I am a seed of wealth in constant multiplication. Everything I begin with intention and nourish with consistency grows and multiplies. I have patience and trust in the process of my prosperity. I reinvest in my growth every single day with knowledge, with action, and with unwavering faith. My prosperity grows steadily, solidly, and exponentially. I harvest abundance because I plant abundance. I harvest health because I care of my health. I harvest love because I give love. Everything I am and everything I do multiplies for good. The harvest of my life is abundant, generous, and continually increasing.
Imagine that your brain is a field, and every thought you think is a seed planted in that field. Now, imagine planting the very same seed in the exact same spot every single day. At first, nothing seems to happen. The soil appears unchanged, but beneath the surface, something is taking place that the eyes cannot see. Roots are forming, pathways are opening. The channels through which water will one day flow are being carved, millimeter by millimeter, with a patience that defies every kind of human urgency. Then, one day, without warning, a sprout breaks through the surface, and from that moment on, the growth becomes visible, rapid, and unstoppable. That is exactly how the brain works. Modern neuroscience has shown that neurons that fire together wire together. This means that every time you think a thought, the neurons involved in that thought strengthen their connection. Every repetition deepens the pathway. Every time you listen to an affirmation of prosperity, the neural circuits associated with wealth, abundance, and worthiness become a little stronger, a little faster, and a little more automatic. Until one day, and that day always comes for those who persist, the thought of abundance is no longer something you have to force. It becomes your pattern. It becomes your default. It becomes the very first thought that appears whenever an opportunity arises, replacing the fear and doubt that once came first. But there is a silent enemy in this process that must be named. Its name is inconsistency. The person who listens to a reprogramming audio today stops for 2 weeks, listens again, then stops for another month, is planting a seed only to pull it out before it has the chance to grow. They begin carving the channel only to allow the ground to harden again. Mental reprogramming does not require extraordinary effort, but it does require something many people find harder than any effort. It requires consistency. The same quiet, unwavering consistency of a river that carves a canyon, not through force, but through its uninterrupted daily presence. Now here is something that will change the way you see your everyday life forever. The greatest opportunities do not arrive only during life's biggest moments. They do not come only when you are fully prepared, well-rested, and having your best day. They arrive every single day, disguised as casual conversations, ideas that appear while you're taking a shower, connections that seem to happen by coincidence, or pieces of information that arrive at the exact moment you need them. The difference between a prosperous person and someone who lives in scarcity is not that the prosperous person receives more opportunities, it is that their mind is tuned to the right frequency to recognize them. Their subconscious, reprogrammed for abundance, functions like a radar that automatically detects everything aligned with prosperity, while filtering out the noise of everything else. Think of a radio. The signals from every station already exist in the air simultaneously, right now, at this very moment. But you hear only the station you've tuned into. If your dial is set to scarcity, fear, and limitation, that is what you will hear, even if the frequency of abundance is broadcasting clearly just one step away. Daily reprogramming is the act of turning the dial. It is tuning yourself day after day with greater precision toward the frequency where the greatest possibilities are always broadcasting. And every time you listen to this recording, every time you repeat these affirmations, you turn the dial a little further. Until the tuning becomes permanent. Until the frequency of wealth becomes the only one your mind naturally receives. There are no shortcuts to this process, but there is no mystery either. It is repetition with intention. It is consistency with faith. It is the daily decision to nourish empowering thoughts instead of the thoughts that arise from old habits. You do not need to believe completely right now. You simply need to listen. Your subconscious will do the rest. It does not question. It does not doubt. It simply carries out whatever is repeated often enough. And you are giving it exactly what it needs to create the prosperous life you deserve. I reprogram my mind every day for wealth and prosperity. I am a person who recognizes and embraces the greatest opportunities that come into my life. The greatest possibilities among infinite possibilities knock on my door every day, and I am always ready to welcome them. My mind is tuned to the frequency of abundance and naturally attracts everything aligned with it. I am consistent in building my prosperity, and that consistency creates exponential results. I open my mind completely to wealth in all its forms. The information and insights that flow into my mind from the universe are limitless, and I receive them with gratitude and clarity. I am a successful person, and that success manifests in every area of my life, every single day.
Pause for a moment and think about the most extraordinary fact concerning the reality you live in. At this very moment, as you breathe and listen to these words, the Earth is spinning on its own axis at more than 1,000 miles per hour. At the same time, it is orbiting the Sun at approximately 67,000 miles per hour. The Sun, in turn, is traveling around the center of the Milky Way at over 500,000 miles per hour. And the entire Milky Way is moving through the universe at speeds that defy human imagination. Nothing is standing still. Absolutely nothing. Every atom in your body is vibrating constantly. Every cell is in a continuous process of renewal. Reality itself is an ocean of perpetual motion, and you are an inseparable part of that ocean. The Hermetic philosophers encoded this truth thousands of years ago in the principle of rhythm. Everything has its flow and its ebb. Everything has its tides. Everything rises and falls. But there is something else they taught that completely transforms the way you can relate to this principle. Although rhythm exists and cycles are inevitable, a trained mind can learn to raise its point of equilibrium. It can learn to make even periods of decline occur at a higher level than the previous peak. This means that the person who understands and applies this law does not oscillate between abundance and misery. They oscillate between abundance and an even greater abundance. The floor keeps rising, and it continues to rise indefinitely. Evolution is the most fundamental law of existence. Everything evolves. Species evolve. Civilizations evolve. Ideas evolve. And the human being who consciously aligns with this evolutionary force, rather than resisting it out of fear of the unknown, experiences an acceleration in growth that appears almost supernatural to those observing from the outside. But it is not supernatural. It is the natural result of swimming with the most powerful current that exists, the current of universal evolution that pulls everything and everyone toward higher, more complex, and more beautiful forms of existence.
And here is a truth that your subconscious needs to absorb deeply. You do not evolve toward evil. This is not naivety, it is law. True evolution, the kind that is sustainable and enduring, always moves toward goodness, balance, and harmony. What appears to prosper through dishonesty, exploitation, or greed is not evolving, it is inflaming, and inflammation always reaches its limit before collapsing. Real prosperity, the kind that grows, multiplies, and endures through generations, is always built upon foundations of genuine value, meaningful contribution, and unwavering integrity. You evolve only toward goodness, and goodness, by its very nature, always expands. Expansion is the natural state of the universe, and therefore it is your natural state. When you resist expansion, when you make yourself smaller out of fear, when you accept less than you deserve because you do not believe you can have more, you are swimming against the strongest current that exists. The effort is enormous, and the progress is minimal. But when you surrender to expansion, when you choose to grow, when you open your arms and your mind to everything the universe has to offer, something extraordinary happens.
The current that once seemed an obstacle becomes an ally. The very universe that once appeared indifferent begins to feel like a partner. The opportunities that were once invisible begin to appear with a frequency and clarity that transform your life in ways that no isolated strategy could ever accomplish. You are expanding right now. Every word you hear expands your awareness. Every affirmation you absorb expands your vision of what is possible. Every day that passes, you become a little greater than you were yesterday, not physically, but in the only dimension that truly determines the results of your life, your inner dimension. And as your inner world expands, your outer world has no choice but to follow, because what is within is always, inevitably, reflected in what is without. I am constantly evolving and expanding in every area of my life. Everything around me is in motion, and I flow with that energy naturally and powerfully. I evolve only toward goodness, and that evolution is continuous, solid, and irreversible. I expand like the universe, without limits, without boundaries, always moving toward higher forms of existence. I attract wealth, prosperity, and abundance because I vibrate at the frequency of expansion and goodness. With each passing day, my life becomes richer, fuller, and more aligned with the very best the universe has to offer. I am part of the expanding universe, and like it, I never stop growing. I evolve, I expand, I prosper, always and in every direction.
You made it here, and that is not a small thing. Most people hear the beginning of something transformative and give up before reaching the end. But you stayed. You listened to every word, absorbed every story, let every affirmation sink deep and settle in the exact place where it needed to be. And because of that, you are no longer the same person who started this audio. Something changed. Something reorganized itself within you with a silent and powerful precision. An old belief lost its strength. A new vision gained space.
and the subconscious, which never sleeps and never stops, is already working with the new material you just provided it. You went through a complete journey in this audio. You opened your mind to receive total wealth, not just financial, but in health, time, relationships, and spirituality. You encountered the archetype of wealth and recognized that abundance is a living force that moves toward those who are open to receive it. You learned from the eagle to have long-range vision, unwavering focus, and the courage to dive at the right moment without hesitation. You planted seeds with Maya and understood that everything nurtured with consistency and patience multiplies in ways that surpass any initial expectation. You reprogrammed your internal dial to the frequency of abundance, and you remembered that everything is in motion, that evolution is the most fundamental law of existence, and that you only evolve toward the good. Now, before the final affirmations, I will teach you something that goes beyond this audio, a tool you can use at any moment of the day in any situation to instantly activate the mental state of prosperity, clarity, and confidence you have built here. This is called anchoring, an NLP technique that creates a direct connection between a physical gesture and a powerful emotional state. It works because the brain associates physical sensations with emotional states, and once that association is created with enough intensity, it can be activated at any moment through the gesture.
Do this now. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and bring to your mind the most vivid image possible of yourself already prosperous. See where you are. See the environment around you. Feel the clothes on your body. Hear the sounds of that moment of complete abundance. Feel in your chest the sensation of fulfillment, gratitude, and absolute confidence. Let that sensation grow. Let it expand through your entire body, from your chest to your shoulders, from your shoulders to your arms, from your arms to your hands. And when that sensation is at its highest peak, more intense than ever, press your right thumb and middle finger firmly together. Hold for 5 seconds. Breathe and release. That is your prosperity trigger. Whenever you need to access clarity, confidence, and the wealth mindset, in an important meeting, a difficult decision, a moment of doubt or pressure, press that trigger. Close your eyes for an instant if you can. Breathe deeply once, and let your subconscious do the rest, because it already knows the way. You just showed it. I am a rich and prosperous person in every dimension of my life. I attract wealth, abundance, and the best opportunities with naturalness and ease. I have abundant health, free time, deep relationships, and peace of mind. I am focused, courageous, and make decisions with clarity and precision. I plant seeds of prosperity every day and harvest an increasingly abundant crop. I reprogram my mind for wealth every day, and this reprogramming is deep, consistent, and irreversible. I constantly evolve toward the good, and this evolution leads me to ever higher forms of prosperity. I expand like the universe, without limits, without boundaries, always growing. I deserve everything that is good, and the universe conspires in my favor every day. I am rich, I am prosperous, I am abundant, and this is my natural state, now and forever.
Listen to this audio every day. In the morning when you wake up, when the mind is fresh and the subconscious is most receptive. At night as you fall asleep,
when the last information that enters is processed with special depth during sleep, or both moments, and watch the transformation multiply. Each repetition deepens the roots. Each listening tunes the dial with more precision. In 21 days, you will already notice something different in the way you think, act, and attract. In 60 days, the people around you will notice before you even fully realize it yourself. Because the transformation that begins within always appears without, inevitably, powerfully, and permanently. The new, wealthy, and prosperous you is not coming. They are already here. They always were. Now they simply know it.